What is up, yo? I'm Jacob and this is Native Son Wood Art, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make these cool floating wine display holder thingies. Not sure how to say this exactly correctly, but they're really cool nonetheless, and I'm going to be showing you how to do them in 3 different shoshugibon finishes. So let's get to it. So I started by cutting down a piece of 1x6 pine to 9.5 inches. Then after I cut that piece, I used that as a template to cut 2 more pieces. Then I found my center line, and then once I had that marked out, I marked up 6 3/4 inches up from the bottom. That's where my hole is going to be for where the wine bottle is actually going to sit. And then I marked out where my foot's going to be. I marked that at a 45-degree angle, and then connected the lines on the back so I knew where I needed to make my cut. Okay, so we have the first 2 finished. One with the light charring, one that's been charred and brushed. Now for the last one, I want to get that alligator scaling. And for that, I wanted to do a few experiments to see what would give me the best finish, because once you do that char, it can be slightly fragile. So let me take you over to the bench and show you what I did. Okay, so for my experiment on how to seal the alligator char and how to finish it properly and make it more durable, I used 3 separate products. I used just the straight Total Boat Halcyon Clear varnish. I used some polyurethane, some spray-on polyurethane, and CA glue. This is just straight 2 coats of Halcyon Clear. And as you can see, like I did a test with a small ball peen hammer, and kind of like that, it's fairly durable, but if you switch to the rounded side, like it can indent pretty easily. It's not very durable. If I do this with any kind of force, it breaks it apart. So that's a no-go. For the next test, I did 1 coat of polyurethane and then 2 coats of the Halcyon, and you can see a lot more durable. Tap on it with the rounded side, fairly hard, and only now it just came up just a little bit, but for the most part, pretty durable. But like, these are going to be wine holders, so I'm not expecting them to, like, you know, stand up to like heavy abuse. I just need them to be able to like survive a fall potentially. And for the last one, I did CA glue. So I sealed it in with CA glue. Here's just straight CA glue, really hard, really rigid. Tap it on it, nothing really coming up, so that's pretty good. This is CA glue and then 2 coats of the Halcyon. Really durable, nothing's coming up there. So got to make a decision between the CA glue or the polyurethane. I actually really like the polyurethane, less fumes. But the CA glue, it's really durable. So I got to figure out the right combo, how I want to do that. But that's my process. Hopefully that helps somebody else that's wanting to do a finish like this. I would definitely recommend CA glue for smaller projects, and I'll probably go with the polyurethane and just do multiple coats of that to lock that in. This is fast drying, so I can do multiple coats within a short amount of time. And even the Halcyon, it dries within an hour, which is really fast for a finish actually. So I'll probably just go with multiple coats of the polyurethane, really lock it down, and then 2 coats of the Halcyon, because the fumes with the CA glue, if you do it, are still pretty wicked. But that's what I'm gonna do. So on to finishing up that last wine holder. So we're inside now. Thought I'd change up the scenery a little bit to talk about the project. So these came out really cool. I really love the finish on all these. I love Shou finish in general, but these came out particularly well. So let's start with the lowest amount of burn, and we'll work our way up to the gator skin. So this one really nice. If you want just a nice highlights, you still want to see the that nice warm wood color, I would go with just a light torching. This is just lightly torched going with the grain. I made sure I wanted to char the inside of this a little bit more to get some more color, so it wasn't just plain. So you'll end up with like a darker ring around the actual hole where the wine bottle will sit. But I think that actually looks good with this aesthetic. One of the crucial things with this is not so much length or width, it's just the angle at which you cut the foot at here, which is, I cut mine at 45 degrees like you saw in the video, and this has to be up, it was 6 3/4 inches, and then 1.5 inch hole, 1.5 inch diameter hole. So those are really the most important dimensions to remember with this. But I like the finish with this. It's light, it's nice, it's bright, And if you want something nice, simple finish, this is actually much easier to finish. Like, it didn't have to use a halcyon with this. I could have just done a couple coats of polyurethane, or maybe even just some boiled linseed oil, and this would have been done. Doing this one is the fastest of all three of them. So this one probably could have been done within a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours ideally, maybe even less. So that's that one. Again, really good. Really like that one. The next one, the charred and brush look. I love this one. I always enjoy doing this finish. I love the texturing. I didn't get all those highlights out because I didn't really brush it that far down, but I really want to, like, you can kind of see it on the side here, if that will show up on camera. Like, that's kind of what some people go for. I usually tend to leave it a bit much darker. And that's just because I don't have the right brush for it. Nick at Build That Build, he uses those Nylox brushes, and so does Joni over at Inspire Woodcraft. And I've been meaning to pick up a set of those to be able to use with my drill to get like a nice brush on these. And I probably will after this. It's kind of setting that in. But I love the texturing on it. I love you had those highs and lows, those peaks and valleys. The knot, I chose this one because it had the knots here in here, and I knew I was gonna brush it just to give it so much character, and it looks really good. And for this one, I just did 2 coats of the halcyon front and back, and came out really nice. It has a really nice gloss finish to it, and it looks really good. There's nothing really else I can say about it. For these, I didn't sand them down because I was gonna burn them. Typically, if you're burning something, you don't need to sand them too much because all that's gonna be burnt away essentially. So you leave, and since this is gonna be burned and brushed, you're gonna be left with a fairly smooth finish anyways. But I did off camera hit this with a little bit of steel wool just to take down some of those burrs. But really nice finish. Now the one that I was most excited about is this alligator scaling. See if I can get a close-up of this, but this came out phenomenal. However, this one was the most work. So what I did was I put a sealing coat of CA first. Originally I was gonna just do polyurethane, but I thought it best to do a sealing coat of CA glue, of thin CA glue. So I took some thin CA glue in a small plastic cup, and I brushed it on, just one light coat, to be able to seal it in quick. And that only took a few minutes to dry. I let it sit for I think like 10 minutes or so. And then after that was dried on both sides and the char was locked in, then I did 2 coats of polyurethane, and then 2 coats of halcyon finish front and back. And it came out great, and the thing is pretty solid. This doesn't have to like survive battle or anything like that, so you don't need to go crazy with the amount of finish. I just wanted to make sure it was really durable, because if it does happen to fall, which it shouldn't, but just for the sake of argument, if it does happen to fall like while holding the wine bottle or onto a table or a hard surface, or if you accidentally dropped it, I didn't want it to, just obliterate on impact. So I wanted to make sure that the finish was durable. And so far with like the halcyon, it's a really nice durable finish. It gives it a really nice, nice gloss. And one of the pros about the halcyon finish is that it dries in an hour. Even here in Florida with high humidity, it still keeps about that time. Maybe like I had one coat that needed like another 10-20 minutes, but in retrospect, that's not too much time. One of the cons about it is that you do need a lot of coats. So I did 2 coats front and back. It probably would have fitted even more from like maybe another 2, especially on this project with the char. But other than that, I mean, you really don't, for small projects, you really don't need a lot of coats with this, and it is really nice. I like that it does dry to a nice, hard, durable finish in an hour. So good on Total Boat for that. And one of the reasons why I picked this up because of watching Nick's videos, and he uses halcyon all the time and it looks good, so I wanted to give it a try. It really wasn't that expensive too. I think it's like 16 or 17 bucks for this pint container, and I barely used maybe 6 ounces, maybe less on this project, just with brushing on these. You only use a little bit, and whatever you don't use, if it's so clean, you can put back into the bag, which is really cool. But yeah, so that's my project. Hope you guys enjoyed. These came out awesome. I'm actually going to give these away as gifts to people because I don't really drink wine. My girlfriend does, but she doesn't really need the display. Usually just drink. But I'm going to give these away as gifts. But tell me what you guys thought about this project in the comments below. Also, if you did like this video, make sure to give it a like. And I'll leave a list here. You'll see here. If you like this video, go check out my friends, a bunch of great makers. They have a bunch of awesome content that I think you might enjoy as well. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and also my Patreon page. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're thinking about making one of these projects too, remember, make moves, not excuses. And I'll see you in the next video.